Alright guys, welcome back to the Asian Persuasion channel. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about vapes. We're going to be talking about vaping your flower, vaping your weed, alright? I have a little vape right here. This is a classic vape, alright? This is just a steel tube, alright? A little mouthpiece, a little chamber, alright? A little heating chamber, okay? And then a little cap. This is the Dino vape. This is the Dino vape. Alright, Dino vapes. Go check them out. I'm not sponsored by them, but go check them out. They do have some really good products. Okay. Alright. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna load up the weed in the little chamber. Load up the weed in the chamber. Okay. You're gonna put the cap on. Alright. You load it up nice and tight. You torch it. This literally, the only thing this does is cook your weed. That's literally what it's doing. It's cooking the weed. Now, you're probably thinking, Asian, why would I want to vape my weed? Why would I want to vape my bud? You know? Well, one, there's health benefits to it. Less, you know, when you're not smoking pure smoke, it's better. It's better. Vaping your weed is better. The vaporizer is better for you than smoking and taking a lighter to it, you know. We all know that. We all know what that's like, you know. If you ever smoke cigarettes, if you ever smoke bong or, you know, bongs and stuff like that, you'll hear people say, when you take a lighter or something, you're inhaling the butane. You're inhaling the butane. So, that's one thing. Now, you can get vape devices electronically. You can get them just like this, where you just take a lighter or a torch and light up or heat up the end and then vape out of it, you know, smoke out of it. It's clean, it's efficient, it still gets you high, like you still get all the same effects. Alright, it stretches your weed, okay? You can smoke one bowl, and after that you have EVB, vapor already smoked bud, or AVB, already vaped bud. Now our AVB, you can make edibles out of. You can cook with it. You can sprinkle it on a brownie. You can do all bunch of sorts of stuff with it and still get the same effects. So keep that in mind as well. It's very versatile because once you heat up weed from its natural state, it is then active. All right, weed outside of its natural state or inside of its natural state is not active. All right, you can eat a nug and it's not gonna do anything to you. Okay, once you heat it up, it's active. Okay, you'll get high from it. All right. You can make edibles from cooking your weed. All right, you can make edibles from cooking your weed and just heating it up and then just mixing it into whatever you wanna bake with. All right. Vapes are very discreet. Okay, vapes are very discreet. People love to use vapes out in public, whether it's smoking your bud or a cartridge, like a vape cartridge, disposable vapes, all that type of stuff. Discreet, not as loud, you know, doesn't draw as much attention. The high is a little different if you're using like a cartridge compared to smoking your bud. Okay, there's a lot of distillate carts out there, and distillate is pure THC. It doesn't have all the other terpenes and cannabinoids in it, so it's added terpenes. Yes, it's natural, but it's added natural terpenes. Just remember that. It's not coming from the plant that the THC came from originally. Okay, that THC is just pure THC. Alright, so keep that in mind if you are going the cart route. Alright, keep that in mind. Now, smoking your flower in a vape, you will get the same effects, you will get the same high. Alright, it does stretch your weed, as I said before. I can get at least 2 smoke sessions out of this. 2 smokes out of it, heating up, and get at least 5 to 6 hits out of it. Unless you really want to smoke your weed and like burn it, you can do that too. Just up to you. Now, vaping weed isn't for everybody. Vaping weed isn't for everybody. I will say that. It changes the flavor. Some people will say that it doesn't affect them as much. Alright, it doesn't affect them as much. Some people will say that they prefer to just smoke a joint or smoke a blunt. Alright? But it's different strokes for different folks, you know? I say that every form of smoking has its place in the cannabis industry, just like distillate carts has its place, just like the weed vapes have their place. Alright, this little guy has its place in the industry. Alright, I have a G-Pen Elite 2 electric vaporizer. Works very well, heats up, goes up to like 400, 500 degrees. I keep it around 369, alright. Temperature controlled, 3 clicks, on and off, pick your temperature, all that good jazz. Has a little poker to stir your weed. That's one thing you will want to do if you have an electronic vaporizer, is you're going to want to stir your weed so that way it cooks evenly throughout. You're not just burning the outside. You know what I mean? Inside the chamber. Alright. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that you can do with vaped bud or vaping bud. Alright, it just depends on what you're looking for. Where you're at, what type of social environment you're in, stuff like that. Alright, that's really all it comes down to. Alright, and this is very budget friendly. Alright, weed vapes are very budget friendly. You can pretty much, you can take your flower and just bake it and make it into edibles if you really wanted to. Or vape it to make your bud stretch longer. So like heating this thing up one time, you could probably get 3 or 4 heats out of it, you know? 3 or 4 heats out of it, right? And you get 3 to 4, 5 hits out of that one heat, you know? So same thing with electronic vaporizers, you know? You can vape it for one session and then vape it again and keep on using up the terpenes and the cannabinoids and stuff like that, the THC into the bud's ton, you know, until it's nice dark brown, there's nothing left, you know, it's done, you know. So that's why you vape bud. Would I recommend vaping your bud? It really depends on you. It really depends on the person. It really depends on the social aspect, where you're at, what you're doing, what you're vaping, stuff like that, and why you want to why you want to vape bud. You know, why? You know, are you doing it for the health aspects? Are you doing it for the discreetness? Are you doing it to make your weed stretch a little bit longer? Because like, you can vape your weed, pack it in a joint, and then vape or smoke that later, you know? Some people do that, which is nothing wrong with it. You're still getting high. You're still getting plenty high from it. You know, you're using up the rest of the weed, you know? So, that's the end of the vape. Reasons why you vape weed. Saves you a little bit of money too. So, if you're on a budget, vaping your weed definitely stretches your weed out longer. Than just taking a torch to it, you know, taking a torch or a lighter to it, alright? Or throwing it into a blunt or a joint. Alrighty, so that's the end of the video, alright? I hope you enjoyed this little rant about vaping weed and why people vape weed and the different things you can do with it, and just a little educational video on, you know, the different aspects to why people vape the weed, why people use, you know, vaporizers, why people use carts, you know, different strokes for different folks, and it just depends on the social environment you're in. You know, if you're at somebody's house at a smoke sesh, you know, that's fine. Smoke up as much as you want, be as loud as you want, you know. But if you're out in public somewhere and you're not trying to be as loud, you know, with your weed, vaping's the way to go. It doesn't give out that smell. It doesn't give out that, like, it gives out a little bit of a smell, but it's not as bad, you know. So, alright, you guys have a great day. Make sure you like and subscribe. Alright, stay safe, stay high, stay real. Asian out. Bye.